All right, we're calling this meeting to order. This is the regular council meeting. Roll call, all councils are present?
Nope, that's my turn.
Betsy's supposed to do it.
I know, it's
Betsy.
hard, it's difficult to go from one meeting to another.
Yeah.
So, the Mayor Flax is here. Say hi. Councilor Antipas, Barber, Grimm, Moravsik, Morton, Nault, Perzati, and Watson. You have a full complement of council.
Thank you for your confirmation. Thank you. And do the flag, salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognitions, awards, and memorials, we have none. Which brings us to receipt of citizen petitions, which we have somebody signed up. This is the portion of the council agenda where the council welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 5 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentations should be related to matters pertinent to Groton. Town councilors will only ask questions in order to clarify the speaker's presentation and can respond during the responses to citizens' petitions portion of the town council meeting. Citizens should make their presentations from the lectern and state their name and address for the record. And we have one, Mike Doyle. Please come up and state as just state.
Hi, Mike Doyle, 15 Elm Street, Noank. A couple things. One, I support the additional funds for fixing the Noank Town Dock. It's a great asset for the community and for visitors, residents and visitors. Second, this is my prepared remarks, and I'm a little confused on, tonight we're talking about hiring architects and construction firms and things like this. I believe that hiring an owner's representative will be well worth the cost, and in the long run will save the town money and get the best construction completed for the money that's available. One thing is I'm confused. I thought there was an RFP out or an RFQ out for owner's representative, but I never saw the results, so I'm not sure where that's.
We haven't selected one.
Okay, so, and I'm on the permanent school building committee. I'm not speaking for them, but we had some presentations last year at our meetings from construction firms and that do work as owner representatives, and it seems like a great. They're involved with school projects. Our last school project was 10 years ago, so it's so they've have experience. And then they're going to be representing the town and trying to make sure that the architects and the construction firms don't try to slip anything past us. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? All right. Then we'll move to responses to citizen petitions, comments, and concerns. Anybody? Nope. All right. Would someone like to move the consent calendar?
I'd like to move the consent calendar.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilor Watson and second by Councilor Antipas to move the consent calendar. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 9-0. Should be noted that there are a number, probably 40 or so or more, donations from citizens and businesses throughout Groton. So the people are giving, including some of the councilors. So very, very generous. That brings us to communications and reports. Town councilors, Councilor Moravsik.
The only thing I can report is I attended the appointments meeting this evening.
Okay,
That's all.
thank you. Bonnie?
Nothing to report.
Greg?
Nothing.
Harry?
I don't have anything to report, although Councilor Moravsik mentions appointment. I think that's an appointment to our committee, and maybe if you send an email to the town clerk saying that he is a member of that committee, it's your appointment, that would create a paperwork trail that allows that to happen.
Let me take that note. Okay.
I have nothing
Deb?
to report.
Diane?
I have nothing to report.
Karen?
Nothing to report.
Dean?
Only that on the 21st, the Groton Fire Officers Association very graciously provided me with a meal and some very intelligent chat. Mark was there as well. I was at the Seahorse, and I was there one other time, and it was same very nice event.
Thank you. I attended the Mashantucket Pequot Tribal Nation Mixer on the 21st, and on the 23rd, I was at the Christmas Human Services Distribution, which very humbling, unbelievable, the giving and the support from the high school, from the Groton City Police. It was just unbelievable, and the number of, I think they took care of 500 families, and very humbling to see all that.
I might add, there was a nice picture in the day of somebody there.
Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Thank you. There's a couple of things. We did receive. I'm trying to. I lost my train of thought, but we received in a packet a month or so ago that attorney Eileen Duggan was like made partner of her firm, and I think that should be recognized, and we should offer congratulations, and I think we're working on something for that, so that's not to be lost. And there was, sorry, I'm not more together here. Upcoming next week is the sub-base installation tour for the communities around, and I think that Karen, Bonnie, and Rich have signed up to go. And then it's a 2-3 day thing, right?
Well, it's,
I was gonna ask
The
what
tour's
the
the
time
11th.
is.
yeah, the tour, Rich, Bonnie, and Karen, I had sent out an email about the stakeholder interview, which is on the 12th at 12:30 in this building. That's, and we certainly, it's a stakeholder, it's a 1-hour interview, it's a group interview. If all 9 of you could be there, that would be great. There are other ones scheduled later on that afternoon with other groups, other members of the community.
That's the 12th,
That's the 12th.
12:30 to 1:30.
12:30 to 1:30 here.
I'll be here, Mark.
Okay, great.
I thought there was something on the 11th,
The 11th, there is,
the base tour.
there is a briefing that the captain is going to be doing, and then also a tour of the base. But we're pretty limited in terms of how many folks can go on. And if somebody has a real interest, great. There will be a number of staff folks going on that, but if any counselor wants to go, let me know. And
I don't need a tour.
So I think Mark had forwarded the whole itinerary to everybody. So if anybody, I'm going to go to the question and answer on the 12th.
I'll be there too.
But if, please, I think the more representation from the town
I can make that.
that we can have, the better. So if you guys can look at your calendars and see what you can attend and forward that information to Mark. So I think there's an RSVP on it as well.
What time is the briefing by the captain? If you want to just go to that and not the tour.
I believe
I
it's
have it.
8:30, but I'll have to double check. I can resend it out tomorrow.
Okay, that'd be great.
We can look after Bonnie. I have it
Okay.
here. So that's all I have to report. Good thing you guys are here. Clerk is representative town meeting.
Oh, thank you. So the representative town meeting met last December 14th, where the Moderator Newsom read the town council referral 2016-0250, which is a resolution authorizing the town manager to enter into agreements to convert town-owned street and parking lot lights to the LED diode, the light emitting diode bulbs. So that's been referred to Public Works, and I think I repeated this at the last meeting, Sam, just get me. Also, he referred the ordinance that is amending ordinance 229 for the enterprise zone. That's also been referred to the Finance Committee. So you have a Public Works Committee subcommittee meeting and a Finance subcommittee meeting, and I believe they'll book those for the next week, which is January 11th, the next RTM meeting, where they'll be discussing those items.
Clerk of the council.
Well, as of today, all 39 justices of the peace that were elected or appointed at the November 8th election were administered the oath. We had a orientation last week. I sent out a letter right after the election to all elected justices, and to notify them that they needed to have the oath administered by the 3rd of January, which is today. And they all did it, which is terrific. Otherwise, they would have lost their position, and they'd have to be appointed again by the bodies. So that, I'm very proud that they're all willing to perform all the duties. I can't have said that in past years, but all justices are willing to perform all the duties for that position. I also attended this evening's Town Council Personnel Committee, where Chairman Watson and committee members did a great job going through another portion of their rules, and they're taking it bit by bit, and it's great.
Great, thank you. Town manager?
Yes, just a couple of things. As we reported out a couple months ago, the library is getting into the business of doing passports, and this Saturday is Passport Day at the Groton Public Library, Saturday the 7th from 9 to 4:30 p.m. There's information on the website, there's information in the weekly status report. You can't just show up, you have to have an application filled out and pictures and so forth, but it was a huge success. The last time they did this, quite a few people got passports. It's kind of a less painful way of getting your passport. We already talked about the joint land use study that's going on in and around the subbase with Groton Town, Groton City, New London, Waterford, Montville, and Ledyard. The purpose of the study is really to try to identify potential developments or activities that could be harmful to the base. And some of you may recall during the last BRAC, there was a lot of discussion of shutting down a fairly significant facility in Virginia, which, if you look at the history, development had started to impinge upon the airport, the runways down there. And so that's the real emphasis. But ideally, it's going to work both ways, that there are maybe things on the base that the communities have some issues and concerns about that can be, if you know about it ahead of time, you can plan accordingly. So it looks like we have at least 6 folks from the council going to the interview, which is great. If anybody wants to go on the tour, either the tour on the 11th, which is of the base, or there's also a tour on the 12th of the surrounding communities. If you could let me know, and I'll make sure we can, everybody can't go, because the bus, for example, only holds 20 or 25 people, and there's 6 towns that are, and plus base personnel and consultants. But if there's 1 or 2 of you that are interested, I'm sure we can work something out. We did receive notification from the Regional Resource Recovery Authority that they're going to be keeping the same tipping fees for next year, which is good news, no increase. Also, in your weekly status report, we noted once again, the town attorney's office has provided a pretty significant holiday donation to the Spicer Trust Fund. Proud to report that our very own Captain Steve Sinagra has successfully graduated from the FBI Academy at Quantico a couple weeks ago. We haven't had, it's been a while since we've been able to send an officer down to that program. I think probably close to 10 years or so. So that's quite an accomplishment, not only for the department, but particularly for Captain Sinagra. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. The first item, committee reports. Chairman Watson?
The Personnel and Appointments Committee met tonight, and we appointed a couple of people that'll be on our agenda. I don't have the minutes because we met tonight.
Okay.
And we did talk about our policy. And some pretty good ideas have come up as far as the procedure for appointing unaffiliates and Democrats and Republicans, which I have yet to summarize, but that'll be coming out soon.
Thank you. Seeing as there won't be a regular meeting until February, do you want to suspend the rules and or can it wait a month?
We just wait a month. I mean, as a
Okay.
matter of fact, one of them has to wait a month anyways,
Okay.
because they have that 60-day, according to our policy, till January 13th. So
Okay.
we'd have to wait till
Okay.
February
All
anyways.
right. Chairman Antipus?
No meeting, no report.
Thank you. And the committee of the whole met, geez, no, we didn't meet. We didn't meet last week, so there's nothing to report there.
Never mind.
Good job.
Councilor Barber, can you do 2016-0297?
Sure. Knowing Town Dock Project Update. Resolution authorizing allocation of funding from Capital Reserve Fund balance to provide additional funding for the reconstruction of the Knowing Town Dock. Whereas construction funds were approved in the amount of $106,000 in the fiscal year ending 2016 Capital Improvement Program, CIP, and $34,000 in the fiscal year ending 17 CIP for reconstruction of the Knowing Town Dock, repair of the seawall damaged by Superstorm Sandy, boy, my tongue's twisted today, and ADA compliance. And whereas a second round of bids for the project, including contingency, exceeded available funding. In addition, and additional funding will be required to undertake the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Council authorizes the allocation of $9,500 from the Capital Reserve Fund balance to FYE 2017 Capital Project 4K Knowing Dock. I so move.
Second.
We have a,
Motion.
thank you. We have a motion by Councilor Barber. Dominican really screwed up my head. And a second by Councilor, no. Is there
No,
any-
not by me.
Oh, by Councilor Marisick, sorry. Any discussion on this?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Bob.
just want to say that, was there some reason that we came up with the 9,500? It's just under the 10,000 before it has to go to the RTM.
As was explained in the memo, that's what we need.
Okay.
That's the
Well, it's a
shortfall.
contingency.
To have the contingency amount, I think it was 8%, if I remember correctly from the memo.
It's just.
No magic.
I mean, check me if I'm wrong, but if you want to send it to the RT, I mean, if they want to send it to the RTM for approval, we can do, but I think there's a need to, but.
No, don't agree.
Any other discussion on this? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 8-1-0. Council Perizzotti.
2016-0298, resolution authorizing the Director of Public Works to solicit statements of qualifications from architectural firms for design services for the Groton 2020 plan. Whereas the Groton 2020 Schools Facilities Initiative was approved with referendum in November 2016. Whereas the Town Council has authorized the town to engage the services of an owner's representative to manage the project under the Director of Public Works, including engaging qualified architects and construction managers, and whereas following the request for qualifications RFQ process in selecting a qualified experienced architectural firm to design the Groton 2020 plan would ensure eligibility for reimbursement of these costs by the state, and whereas there is funding in the project budget for these types of professional services, now therefore be it resolved that the Director of Public Works, Gary Snyder, is authorized to proceed with the RFQ process to select the most qualified architectural firm to design the Groton 2020 plan. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion by Council Perizzotti, a second by Council Watson. Any discussion on this? Right?
Yeah, just had the words about the owner's representative, the managed project under the Public Works, including engaging qualified architects and construction managers. Does that mean that the owner's rep is going to be involved in hiring the architects?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Engaging simply meaning working with.
okay, all right, thanks.
Thank you.
If
Council
you
Moore.
want to clarify that, I mean, that's absolutely not.
Right.
That's not up to them to do that.
Council Morton?
I just, my question was whether or not the council would have any involvement in selecting the architectural firm.
I'm sure we'll probably put a selection panel together and ask the council to be part of that, or some councilors to be part of that, but that's your call. You tell me how involved you want to be or not.
Council No?
I volunteered to be on it at the last meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's right in the thing.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 9-0. Council Watson?
There's another one?
Sorry. One more.
There is one more.
You have the-
It's revised.
Oh, I don't have that. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, this is the RTM reapportionment.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is 2016-0311, resolution of approving computation of representative town meeting membership, whereas section 4.3.3 of the town charter requires the town clerk to determine within 60 days after each presidential election the representation by voting district proportional to the number of electors residing in such district, and whereas at the November 8, 2016 election, the following districts and number of electors in each district is as follows, and therefore, by computation, the number of representatives for each district is as follows. I'll just read them. District 1, 4,297 electors, 7 representatives. District 2, 2,761 electors, 4 representatives. District 3, 3,477 electors, 6 representatives. District 4, 4,461 electors, 7 representatives. District 5, 3,141 electors, 5 representatives. District 6, 3,984 electors, 7 representatives. And District 7, 2,997 electors, 5 representatives, for a total of 41 representatives. I so move.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, now therefore be it resolved that the above membership representation is hereby approved by the town council effective for the town of Groton, November 7, 2017 election. And now I move that.
Second.
We have a motion by Council Watson, second by Council Parazzani. Any discussion on this?
Two things to note. The current layout of the RTM remains 41. What this does is it would change basically District 4, call it the northwest corner of the town, if you will, gains a representative, and District 5, called the northeast corner of the town, loses a representative, according to these numbers. And again, for the benefit of the record, if the Charter Revision Commission were to look at 4.2.2 of the Charter, pay attention that the wording and how we arrive at this is ambiguous. And that's all I'm going to say for now. So if they wish, take a look at it. Don't leave it alone. Leave it, neaten it up a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Council.
Could I just like to make a statement?
Sure.
I want to wish our former town mayor and former town councilor, Joe Dela Cruz and Heather Summers, good luck tomorrow when they get sworn in.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Very good. Statement made. Any other discussion on the motion by Council Watson? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? That passes 9-0.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
Should be a good 2017.